Shelley. Hi, Jisoo. Welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. A warm welcome to anyone who's new. If you're new, you'd like more information, hi Luna, about this channel. Check out the website that I posted in the chat box. So, faith. Bruno Groening spoke about faith so often. And at first I was kind of a bit turned off by it because, I'd heard faith from so many different religious people in a way that just didn't feel good. But Bruno Groening called people to have faith in God. But what does that mean? Well, my understanding of what Bruno meant, and my understanding is that that's exactly what Christ meant when he spoke about faith, is to trust. We've been taught that faith means to have a certain mental belief. To believe, I was raised Christian, so to believe, the Bible is the perfect word of God. To believe Jesus is God. Now, I'm not here to, if you believe those things, I'm not here to try and dissuade you from that. But if you have faith in those things, I'm not trying to talk you out of that, but I am here to present a different definition of faith that I personally am convinced is much more important than any ideas we might have. An idea that, this book is true, or this religion is true, or this is a particular doctrine. So please believe whatever you believe. But when I talk about faith, and more importantly, when Bruno talks about faith, and I'm convinced when Jesus talks about faith, didn't really have an idea in mind. He didn't have a creed or a catechism. I know Bruno didn't, and I'm pretty convinced Christ didn't. What they had in mind is that sense of trust. Faith that everything will be okay. Faith that God is trustworthy and reliable. Faith that even in the middle of a whirlwind of challenges, that everything is going to be okay. Even in the middle of a crisis, to trust that God, as they say, God's got our back and is going to carry us through the crisis, which means it actually isn't a crisis. It's just a challenge, maybe a very intense challenge. That's what I believe that faith really is that sense of trust. Someone recently dropped by the channel and posted like 2 or 3 paragraphs worth of dogma, of doctrine, of ideas. Like, you need to believe this, and you need to believe that, and you need to believe that. Like, kind of preaching to me. Okay, I mean, that's fine. That person believes those things and believes that I need to believe those things. And I'm not saying that anything this person said is wrong. What I'm saying is that is not faith. Not in my understanding of the word. And this is why faith has such a bad name, because all of us have been beaten with this idea that faith means believing a doctrine or an idea. You mentioned the word, if you don't, you would do an experiment. Go to the average spiritual person, the person who's stepped outside of organized religion and is looking for answers, and mention the word faith and watch them run. And worse, we've been terrorized that if we have the wrong belief or don't have the right belief that we're going to be tortured for all eternity. So, this beautiful thing, faith, like think of the trust you feel for a good friend. Like you just you can count on them. You count on them. You really trust them. You believe in them, not in the sense of a belief up here, but you're like, this is someone I can depend on. That's what I that's my understanding of what true faith is towards God, towards the divine, that God's in charge of everything, that everything's going to work out. So it's very easy, and so uh, as I'm sitting here, I'm like and talking about it. It's so easy to talk about it. It's so easy to, you know, this isn't church, but it's so easy to give a sermon on it. But then to do it, to trust, as they say, when the S is hitting the fan, when things are challenging, when we don't feel well, to still continue to trust. That's um, I struggle with it every day. Some days, some moments, it's easier than others. Some days, some moments I do better than others. And so Bruno brings in the interesting piece of doing this with illness, with symptoms, to give the illness away. And even if, even if they still have some pain, I don't have pain right here, but I'm just giving an example. Like, even if you still have pain, to have faith that it's not an illness, it's a healing in progress. That everything will be okay. And then some things heal in a second, and some things take years. I've shared this story many times. A friend of mine on this journey, one healing took 20 years. She just kept coming back. And I'm sure I have to ask her, but I'm sure her faith was shooken during those times because it was a very serious thing. So every year she'd need to go to the doctor to have a checkup. It was a deadly condition. It had killed members of her family. So every year she'd have to go to the doctor and get a checkup. And so there in her face is the evidence like, oh, this isn't healed yet. She just kept giving it away and tuning in, and then it healed. And then she went to the doctor, did the did the test, and the results came back normal. It was a heart condition. Mrs. Alsay from Norway, some of you know her. A heart condition that had killed members of her family. And that from a medical perspective, she had a high chance of dying from. 20 years. She just kept coming back. So, Bruno said that the timing of a healing is not up to us. It is up to us to strive for it. There's a saying in English, I never promised you, I think it's I never promised you a rose garden. Is that the same? Hold on, let's see. Yes, I never promised you a rose garden, which is kind of become slang. I mean, like, hey, life isn't all perfect. Now, according to Bruno and other great sages and teachers, there is an underlying perfection and an underlying order and harmony. But the waves on like there's in the ocean, let's use the ocean as a metaphor, the depths of the ocean, there's stillness and harmony. And the waves sure get choppy sometimes on the surface, meaning life here on planet Earth is sometimes chaotic. And let's keep in mind, Bruno showed up after World War II. the world was I mean, Germany was shattered on so many levels, and here comes Bruno saying people are good and God is trustworthy. Everything's going to be okay. Boy, do we need that. Boy, do I need that message here in 2021. I need that message every day, but especially here we are, the end of 2021. So let's take a minute or two and take in some of the divine energy and make a decision to trust God. Make a decision to lean on the divine. And for a lot of us, and many days that's me, like that's too much of a stretch. So then we lean on someone like Bruno or Christ, a helper in spirit who we can just trust completely. Gonna share a few more words. I mean, one of my healings took 4 years to get off sleeping medication. It was, yeah, it was quite a journey. Was it 4 years? No, 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 no. When did I? Yeah, yeah, it was, no, let me think, let me think. No, it was 5 years. It was very frustrating. It was very challenging. But the thing is I think challenge is part of this is a school. Bruno said this earth is a school, and we're here to learn faith. That's one of the things I love about the Bible is it's over and over and over. It's stories of people trusting God under adversity. Over and over and over. Hmm. So let's take on the day with faith, with an attitude that we take on the attitude that we have a all loving, all powerful creator who loves us. We have a very, very powerful friend in Bruno Groening, and if you're so inclined, in Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, everyone, for dropping by. Thanks to people who were here live. A warm welcome to anyone who's new. And thank you to those who took the time to listen to this video. I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day and take care. Much love.